We live in a world that tells us that to get what you want, you have to hustle harder, chase faster, and control every outcome. We've been taught to build checklists for happiness. The right job, the perfect relationship, the impressive possessions. And from the outside, it can look like we're winning. But what if I told you that this frantic chase is the very thing pushing your desires further away? I know, because I lived it. I climbed the ladder, I bought the things, and I curated a life that looked perfect. But on the inside, I was gripped by a constant, quiet anxiety. I was living in a state of chronic stress, trying to bend the world to my will, and it was a losing battle. The more I achieved, the more I feared losing it all. It wasn't until I was completely burnt out that I stumbled upon the 2,000-year-old wisdom of the Stoics, and it offered a truth that changed everything. It taught me I was doing it all backward. True manifestation, the kind that brings deep, unshakable contentment, doesn't come from controlling the world outside of you. It comes from mastering the world within you. Today, I'm going to share with you the 10 profound Stoic principles that will transform how you approach manifestation, not by wanting more, but by becoming more. These are the rules that will help you release the tension that's been blocking your blessings and step into the flow state where miracles become natural. Before we dive deep into this life-changing wisdom, I need you to do something. If you're ready for a transformation, hit that like button right now. It tells me you're ready. And to anchor this intention in your heart, type this in the comments. When I master myself, my world transforms. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Subscribe to this channel. And please, don't skip any part of this video. Each rule builds on the last. Number 1. Master the dichotomy of control. The first and most foundational secret isn't about gaining more power, but about understanding where your power truly lives. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control, and it is the cornerstone of a peaceful and effective life. The philosopher Epictetus put it perfectly. The chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control, and which have to do with the choices I actually control. For years, I was pouring my life's energy into a leaking bucket. I exhausted myself obsessing over things I could never truly manage. What my boss thought, whether the market would dip, why someone didn't respond to my message. My anxiety was a direct result of trying to manage the unmanageable. The turning point comes when you internalize this wisdom. Imagine drawing a line down a piece of paper. On one side, list the things you can't control. Traffic, other people's opinions, the weather. On the other, list the things you can control. Your effort, your attitude, your integrity, your next action. 99% of our anxiety lives in the first column. The Stoic pact is to invest all of your energy into the second. This shift doesn't make you passive. It makes you incredibly effective. When you stop trying to control the outcome of a proposal, you pour all that energy into making the proposal itself undeniable. When you release the need to control outcomes, you gain an almost supernatural power over your actions and your inner peace. This is the first step to manifesting anything, because it plugs the energy drains and focuses your power where it can actually create change. Number 2. The paradox of detached desire. Here's the paradox that drives most people crazy. The more desperately you need something, the more it seems to slip through your fingers. The Stoics discovered something revolutionary about desire. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." This isn't about giving up your dreams. It's about understanding the energetic difference between wanting something and needing it. When you need something, you operate from a place of lack. You send out desperate energy that repels what you want. But when you want something, while being completely okay without it, you create magnetism. My life used to be a series of if-then statements. If I get the raise, then I'll be secure. If I buy the house, then I'll feel successful. But the then never truly arrives, because the feeling of not enough just follows you to the next goal. This is what the Stoics called preferred indifference. Yes, you prefer to have success, love, and health, but your inner peace isn't held hostage by them. The magic happens when you can say, I would love for this to happen, and I'm taking inspired action toward it. but my wholeness is not dependent on the outcome. This isn't giving up. This is true confidence. You stop chasing, and from that state of abundance, you begin to attract. Let this one sink into your soul, and if it resonates, drop this in the comments. I desire with peace, not desperation. Number 3, gratitude and the wisdom of impermanence. Most people think of gratitude as a simple pleasantry, but the Stoics understood it as one of the most powerful manifesting forces in the universe. It shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. But they paired it with a practice that sounds counterintuitive: negative visualization, or what I call the wisdom of impermanence. It is the practice of imagining you have lost the things you value most. Seneca advised us to meditate on the potential loss of our health, our wealth, our loved ones, not to be morbid, but to truly appreciate them right now. For years, I was terrified of losing what I had. This practice taught me to confront that fear directly. Each morning, try this simple ritual. Spend 2 minutes in gratitude for what you have: a roof over your head, the air in your lungs, the people in your life. Then, for just 1 minute, calmly imagine your life without one of those things. Instead of creating anxiety, this practice does the opposite. It infuses the present moment with a profound, visceral appreciation. The fear of loss is replaced by a deep gratitude for what you have today. Manifestation flourishes in a mind that recognizes its own abundance. This practice is the most direct path to cultivating that state, transforming your mindset from one of clinging and fear to one of appreciation and strength. Number 4, embody your ideal self now. Here's a truth that will set you free. You've been waiting for the outside world to give you permission to become the person you want to be. The Stoics teach that this is completely backward. You don't attract success and then become disciplined. You become disciplined, and that discipline attracts success. You don't wait for wealth to be generous. You are generous with what you have, and that mindset of abundance creates more wealth. I used to think, when I'm successful, I'll be more focused, or when I have more money, I'll be kinder. I was waiting for external circumstances to define my internal character. The Stoic approach flips this entirely. It requires you to ask, who is the person that has the life I want to manifest? The answer isn't just someone with more. The answer is someone who is courageous, disciplined, wise, and acts with integrity. So, you stop focusing on the outcome and start focusing on embodying those virtues daily. This isn't about faking it. It's about proactive character development. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, it is our actions that define us. When you begin to embody the virtues of the person you want to become, your identity shifts. You are no longer someone trying to manifest success. You are a successful person, defining success by your virtuous actions. And when your identity shifts, the world around you begins to reflect your new reality. Number 5, cultivate inner wealth over external riches. In a world obsessed with external riches, the Stoics discovered a form of wealth that can never be taken from you. They saw things like money and status as preferred indifference. It's preferable to have them, but they have zero bearing on your quality as a human being. True wealth, they argued, is virtue, wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control. This was a radical idea for me. I had spent my life building a portfolio of external achievements while my inner portfolio was in shambles. I had professional accolades but lacked inner peace. Applying this rule meant shifting my primary investment from my bank account to my character. I began to see every situation as an opportunity to practice a virtue. A difficult coworker wasn't a problem. They were a training ground for patience. A financial setback wasn't a disaster. It was an invitation to practice courage. I started investing my time and energy in things that would build this inner wealth, my knowledge, my self-awareness, my integrity. Here's the beautiful paradox. When you prioritize building inner wealth, external wealth often follows as a natural byproduct. People want to work with, promote, and be around individuals who are wise, courageous, and self-controlled. You manifest true prosperity because you are prosperous from the inside out. Number 6. The wisdom of accepted resistance. Life is going to give you obstacles, that's a guarantee. But how you relate to that resistance determines whether it becomes a wall or a doorway. Marcus Aurelius, who faced plagues and betrayals, wrote one of the most powerful phrases in history. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This isn't just poetic language. This is the secret to turning every setback into a setup for something greater. For most of my life, an obstacle was a stop sign proof that I was on the wrong path. The Stoic reframe is that the obstacle is not in the way. It is the way. It's not a test to see if you deserve your goal. It is the training that forges you into the person strong enough to handle it. When you accept resistance instead of resenting it, you stop wasting energy fighting what is, and you start using that energy to navigate through what is. The next time something doesn't go to plan, pause and ask, how is this serving my highest good? What is this experience trying to teach me? Sometimes a no is clearing the way for a much bigger yes. Trust the process. This mindset is the ultimate manifestation tool because it ensures you are never truly stopped. If you get what you want, you win. If you meet an obstacle, you learn and grow stronger, so you win again. Number 7. Build fortitude through voluntary discomfort. This rule is about building unshakable mental fortitude. The Stoics practiced what is known as voluntary discomfort. Seneca wrote about periodically living as if you were poor, eating simple food and forgoing your usual comforts, to ask yourself, is this what I used to dread? You realize you can handle far more than you think, and you develop a profound gratitude for the comforts you normally take for granted. I was a creature of comfort, and it had made me mentally soft and fragile. So, I began to integrate small, deliberate acts of discomfort into my life. I started taking cold showers. I practiced intermittent fasting, learning to observe hunger without being controlled by it. These small acts of self-discipline trained my willpower like a muscle. The journey to any meaningful goal is filled with discomfort. By voluntarily exposing yourself to small doses of it, you build an immunity to the larger, unexpected challenges life will throw at you. You are no longer afraid of hardship, because you have proven to yourself, time and time again, that you can endure it. You develop a quiet confidence that you can handle whatever comes your way, an essential foundation for manifesting ambitious goals. Number 8. The strength of emotional sovereignty. Your emotions are not happening to you, they are being created by you. This single realization contains enough power to change your entire reality. The Stoics taught that it's not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them. A common myth is that Stoicism is about suppressing emotion. This is false. It's about learning to use your emotions as fuel, not as the fire. My life used to be dictated by my feelings. If I felt unmotivated, I wouldn't work. If I felt anxious, I'd procrastinate. My feelings were the fire, and they often burned down my best intentions. Emotional sovereignty means you feel your emotions fully without letting them drive the car. You acknowledge anger without becoming destructive. You honor sadness without drowning in it. You feel fear without letting it paralyze you. The practice is to create a space between an emotional trigger and your response. When you feel a powerful emotion, acknowledge it and ask, what is this energy trying to tell me? How can I use it constructively? This is emotional alchemy. Taking the raw energy of an emotion and channeling it into productive action, you become internally self-sufficient, capable of generating motivation from any emotional state. Your emotions become your messengers, not your masters. Number 9. Treat your time as your most valuable possession. Here's a truth that will bring profound clarity to your life. You can always earn more money, but you can never get back a single wasted second. The philosopher Seneca was shocked at how careless people are with their time. We guard our money, but we give away our time to pointless arguments, endless scrolling, and other people's priorities. Before I embraced this rule, my time was a free-for-all. I was letting my most valuable asset slip through my fingers, then wondering why I never had time for what mattered. Applying this rule means becoming ruthless in guarding your time. Start by applying the question from Marcus Aurelius to your schedule. Is this necessary? Is this meeting necessary? Is this social outing necessary for my well-being? This isn't about becoming a recluse. It's about becoming intentional. When you eliminate the non-essential, you create a vast space for what is truly important. You cannot manifest your ideal life if your time is constantly being hijacked by meaningless distractions. When you begin to value your time, you send a powerful signal to yourself and the universe that your goals are a priority. True wealth isn't money, it's control over your time. Number 10. The ultimate clarifier. Memento mori. The final rule is perhaps the most profound and motivating of them all. Memento mori. Remember that you will die. The Stoics kept skulls on their desks not to be depressing, but to be clarifying. The thought of death strips away the non-essential and focuses the mind on what truly matters. For most of my life, I lived as if I had infinite time. I was paralyzed by small fears. The fear of failure, of embarrassment, of what others might think. Contemplating my own mortality was the antidote. When you truly sit with the fact that your time is limited, the fear of looking foolish for trying something new seems utterly insignificant. The grudge you're holding feels like a tragic waste of precious energy. When you feel afraid, or you're procrastinating, ask yourself this powerful question. If this were my last week on Earth, would I be worried about this? The answer gives you the courage to pursue what truly lights a fire in your soul. Remembering death doesn't make you reckless. It makes you focused and brave. It is the ultimate tool for prioritization, pushing you to stop waiting and start living the life you want to manifest. Right here, right now. So, there you have it. The 10 Stoic rules that helped me manifest a life not of frantic chasing, but of genuine peace and abundance. The journey started by mastering what I can control, found wealth by desiring less, saw obstacles as the way, and learned to live with the clarifying urgency of memento mori. True manifestation, as the Stoics teach us, isn't a mystical process of asking the universe for things. It's the practical process of becoming the person who is ready to receive them. It is about mastering your internal state so that your external world has no choice but to reflect that mastery back to you. You don't have to apply all 10 of these at once. I encourage you to just start with one. Pick the rule that resonated with you the most, the one that you feel could make the biggest difference in your life right now. Let me know in the comments which rule you are going to start with. I'd love to hear from you. And if you found this video valuable and want to continue exploring how ancient wisdom can transform your modern life, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving this video a like. It truly helps more people find this path. Thank you for watching, and remember to focus on what you can control.